Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Shadows Within. I am your host, Larry, and I have a few shows to go over tonight for a late night stream. And we are going to start with GEW Global Extreme Wrestling Fight Club, brought to you by Dimebag Dan. If you've never checked him out, go check out his stuff. Very incredible stuff. And we're going to go over GEW Fight Club Unprotected number one. And to kick us off, it was an 8-superstar brawl bloodfest. It was between Wolf Danger, the Korean mercenary, ADOT, the Grimlord, David Pope, Mad King, Caleb Hopkins, and the sadistic Joker. And in the end, Mad King walked out victorious. But that was not the last we saw of Mad King, as he appeared later on in the night. 8-superstar brawl bloodfest. Bombshell versus Jay Prince versus Alexander Valentine versus the villain Todd Wilson versus Fly Guy versus Khan versus Don Mecca versus Dimebag Dan, with Bombshell walking out victorious. And that was not the last time we saw Bombshell either, which we shall get to soon. A bloody 5-way Extreme Rules between Lexi Love, Haley Ramone, Miss Heights, Mother Russia, and Violet Death Reaper. Was a hell of a matchup. I really enjoyed it. And GEW World Class Championship. It was a KOV 911 match, which is their version of an ambulance match. And it was between the challenger Bombshell taking on the champion, the Mad King, with the Mad King retaining. Next up was a GEW King of the Cage Championship matchup in a King of the Cage, which is their version of Hell in a Cell, between Damian the Nightmare Briggs versus Kang, with Damian Briggs retaining the gold. Now, we are going to go over GEW Fight Club Unprotected Volume 2. For the Fight Club Tag Team Championships, it was Fly Guy and Johnny Hernandez versus the champions Magic and Alexander Valentine, with Magic and Alexander Valentine retaining the gold. Garmer versus Grimlord, with Grimlord walking out victorious. Hunter Mills versus Big Time, Hunter Mills walking out victorious. A bloody 5-way Extreme Rules before the Fight Club KO Women's Championship. Vera Little Russia versus Luna Star versus the Dispatcher versus Kelsey Monroe versus the champion Santana Storm, with the champion Santana Storm retaining. Welcome, Torkel. Welcome. Queen of New York Championship, as it was the champion Casey Hopkins defending against the Blackheart Haley Ramone, with Casey Hopkins walking out victorious, retaining the gold. Next up was a special guest referee matchup for the Underground World TV Championship. The special guest referee was Miss Yams. And the matchup was between Tyler Jones with Damian Briggs versus the champion Mad King with Dimebag Dan, with Tyler Jones becoming the new World TV Champion. Triple threat matchup between Wolf Danger, the Monarch Shockwave, and Foxbick, the champion, who was holding the Triple Crown Championship. And it was for the Triple Crown Championship, as the Monarch Shockwave walked out victorious. Welcome, Canisius Granderson. Welcome. If I pronounced your name wrong, I apologize, sir. Fight Club U.S. Championship special guest referee matchup, with Frankie Fingers as the special guest referee. And it was against the champion Jay Smoke defending against Khan, with Jay Smoke retaining. And then Dimebag Dan cut an amazing promo. I'm excited where that goes next on the next GEW. Next up is for All-Star Pro, which has some great stuff. If you've never checked out All-Star Pro, go check them out. And that is brought to you by Stefan Soup Persson. I shall tag him right now. And we have 2 shows of his to go over. Starting with All-Star Pro Pal Driver Season 3, the Continental Crown Tournament. As it was Dragon versus Shan Leon in the first round, with Shan Leon advancing. Kabuki Dragon versus Damian Briggs, with Damian Briggs advancing. Turtle Harrington versus Lil Devil, with Lil Devil advancing. Larry Loco versus Sam Magnum, with Larry Loco advancing. Shan Leon and Damian Briggs faced off next. Shan Leon advanced to the finals. Lil Devil versus Larry Loco, with Lil Devil advancing to the finals. Then it came down to the final, Shan Leon and Lil Devil, with Shan Leon walking out victorious. Next up on All-Star Pro, Havoc Season 3, Episode 35. Jack Demon versus Damian Briggs, with Damian Briggs walking out victorious. Jackie Harper versus Amaya Bryant, with Amaya Bryant walking out victorious. Ace Thompson versus Carter Goldman, with Ace Thompson walking out victorious. J Monster versus Jackson Silver, which ended in a draw. So I hope we get to see an actual result next time and not a draw. The people want a winner, damn it. All-Star Pro Fight Night Women's Championship was defended by the champion Sandra, taking on Britt Graves of the Nightmare Legion, with Britt Graves becoming the new Fight Night Women's Champion. Brian Walker versus Dominic Jason, with Brian Walker walking out victorious. All-Star Pro World Television Championship, it was defended by Lanza Kazarian versus Adrian Danger, with Lanza Kazarian retaining the gold. Bailey Nelson and Akira Tanaka took on Callie Rage and Taryn Williams. And Callie Rage and Taryn Williams walked out victorious. And then there was a 3-way dance to cap off the show. J-Rock versus The Dream versus Larry Loco. It looked like The Dream won. So, I guess we'll see what happens with that next up, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for IWA Christine's Chaos, the IWA Anniversary End of the Line. Stay tuned for the TXT Tigers Pit on November 29th and November 30th, 2-night event. IZW Slaughterfest on November 25th. WCCW, wait, no, those passed, my bad. Also stay tuned for the next episode of SPW, which will be in Japan, which is called Michi Blaze Presents. This show is canceled. Should be a banger of a show. Welcome, Cora. Welcome. Welcome. This is your first time here, I would imagine. And also, Eddie Walker has announced the next pay-per-view for RCW, Massacre at Midnight, and he will be releasing the card for Hellfire tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what I had to go. Also, IZW is tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I'm excited for that, and I hope you all are as well. Stay tuned for the cards of CLPW Ignition and CLPW Legacy to release. Stay tuned for some big stuff happening in the EFED community, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody has a great day, good night, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever y'all may be. Peace out.